Well, I want to touch on success.
You broke your back, and you know, at 42.
42.
And the next year you were
WCW's Heavyweight World Champion, which is like getting our Oscar.
It's important, and a couple of things that you said, about just not accepting what other people say, putting the reps in, and I would imagine, based on what you said, the incident, whenever you were younger in the car, and the incident then from the manager, and do you think that what you have been through and I guess how you backed yourself to come out of those things based on what you'd experienced before helped you with that? If you hadn't have dealt with everything you had up until that point, you would have, I would imagine, approached it differently because you didn't have the confidence in yourself, you hadn't done the reps, you hadn't have the proof that you could do it, that you knew if you put your head to it, you could come out the other side of it.
I'll give you a great story because I always say one of my quotes when I inducted Jake into the Hall of Fame, and it just hit me. Yeah. When it just hit me, I didn't have this written down. I had a whole script written for him because I wanted something that really, involved the people and inspired them and make them laugh, make them cry, inspire them. And at the end, I'd said, never underestimate the power you give someone by believing in them.
100%.
More importantly, never underestimate the power you give yourself by believing in you. So that came off of 1994. I started wrestling in 91. In 1994, I was lucky enough to have Dusty Rhodes. Him and Jake were my two mentors, and for different reasons. And Dusty could be like, a big brother to me, and sometimes he'd be like my dad. And that I've never had. My dad made a lot of bad decisions. So I pretty much raised him as well as I could as we got older. But there was a point in time where I was, Dusty would let me not just, talk about the business or psychology or, politics, which is huge, in that industry. But sometimes he just let me vent. Let's just call it straight up bitching, And at some point,
you need a friend for that too, by the way.
You do,
yeah.
And you need someone that you really respect, not just who will also call you on shit, And I said to him, Dusty, I know I'm never going to be you, or Rick, or Hulk. I know I'm never going to be the world champion, but the damn book. And he went, Dennis, what did you just say? I feel kind of stupid. I'm like,
what did I just say?
Dust, I know I'm never going to be you or Rick. And I didn't even get Hulk out of my mouth. He went, no, D, what did you say after that? I had to think about it. I said, well, I'm never going to be the world champion. He said, what the hell are you doing it for? Dallas, if you, as hard as you work, as much as you have gained in this business, as much as you study the business, if you do not believe that you're going to be the heavyweight champion of the world someday, you need to get the hell out of our business right now. And he kept yelling and just in my face, and I felt like he'd just reach through the phone and just bitch slap me. That's what I felt like. And I can't tell you a word he said after that. But I can tell you exactly what I did. And there was remember we had answering machines? And if you picked up the phone, and
busy signals too. Yeah.
You had to write it down on a piece of paper next to the answering machine. So I just grabbed that ledger pad. I pulled it in front of me while he was yelling at me. And I wrote on it, I will be the world champion in 5 years or less. And I wrote that down, the date. It was 4 years, 4 months, and 14 days later. The crazy is this one. That I just said, I know I'm never going to be these three guys. My first world championship, and I had three of them. Ric Flair was in it. Hulk Hogan was in it. And the franchise, the Stinger, was in it. Me, and 2 years earlier, I'd beat Randy Savage at Spring Stampede. And it changed my life so dramatically, I can't even explain it. He's the guest referee. And at the end of that, Hulk told me, he said, I got to go in for knee surgery. I want you to put me out on the Ric Flair post, where you pull the guy out, Ric Flair, Bret Hart. You pull him out, wind him into figure four, and then really try to tear their knee. So you put me out, and Flair's going to take the diamond cutter in the middle for you. And you don't ever believe that.
Because it could change.
Oh, right up till you're about to walk out the curtain.
No kidding.
Oh, no kidding. No kidding. Shit can change.
Wait. So we're saying wrestling is not... Never mind.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Wrestling's... It's not fake. It's predetermined.
Got it.
We're very sticklers about fake, considering over that period, to remind me to come back to that, over that period, I was working 270 plus days, bouncing around
city
in
to
a
city
ring.
to city, yeah.
And if you were in the main event with me,
Yeah.
it'd be like having 4 or 5 car accidents for a normal person whose body's not used to it. Flair used to say, it's incredible what the body can get used to. And that's out. They don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Today, it's like, there might be a couple of house shows with no cameras, and that's normally overseas. But if it's in the States, if they work every TV in the pay-per-view 9 days. We worked a minimum of 24 to 27 in a month.
Crazy.
So you can't tell me the shit we did is fake.
Right, no.
Just like the movies aren't fake. But when the guy falls off the horse, he falls off the horse.
Yeah.
When the car flips and spins and lands on its head, the guy's so jacked up that he's freaking alive still that, he jumps right out of the damn thing. Well, then
I'll tell you, I used to think that when you had, you take a chair and you'd smash it, an aluminum chair, metal chair in someone's face, and there'd be blood pouring from your face. I always thought that you guys had like blood bags or things like that. No, that was your blood. That was blood from, you guys put yourself through.
People used to say, how do you fake those chair shots? I said, you don't. That's like, I'll tell you exactly what I would say if I'm about to go out there and hit someone with a chair, like over the head. That's before the concussion thing, and they don't really do that anymore.
The sound alone.
I remember The Rock hit Mick Foley easily 12 times, and he just mangled that chair on his head.
Yeah.
And if I was going to go up there and hit you with a chair, start an angle, blah, 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 he'd look at me and he'd go, don't be weak with it, brother. Bring it. Because if you're going to hit me, hit me.
Yeah.
And I would walk up and say, I'm going to say I'm sorry right now. Don't come weak. Don't come, because that's how it's instilled. So back to now, it's that day. It's me, Rick, Hulk, and the Stinger. Rick's going to take the diamond cutter in the middle. I tell that story a lot for cameos, because people are looking for inspiration. And the next morning, I'm in my car. I just gotten a cell phone, and we're in Tacoma, me and Kimberly, and we're driving to Spokane, however you say it, and the phone rang. And I picked it up, and I hear that voice, "So D, have it feel?" I said, "It feels real, Dream. It feels real." He said, "That's because it is." And he clicked the phone off. But I've been telling that story, and then during a cameo, it hits me. 4 years, 4 months, and 14 days earlier, I said, I know I'm never going to be Rick or Hulk or the Dream, the American Dream. Now, the Dream is retired by that time. So let's replace him with the franchise, the number one guy really in the company, the Stinger. Mm-hmm. And I'm with all three of those guys, and I walk out the world champion.
Crazy.
Like, you talk about manifesting. Like, sometimes you're manifesting. I speak words into reality. Like, we just
That's
broke.
a powerful statement right there. I speak words into reality.
And anyone can do it.
Yes.
You're an example of it. You're an example of it. Different levels, different spots, but we're all an example. Fake it till you make it. Some people don't like that. Fuck that. You gotta fake it till you make it. Because if you don't believe it, nobody does. You gotta speak the words into reality. And that right there kind of tripped me out a little bit. Because I'm doing this cameo for this person. I wish I could remember who I'd sent it to, because I wish I would have kept that one. Because you can see in real time it hitting me. Oh my God, like, I said that I'm never going to be that, yet here I am telling that story. And this is the other side. Dusty was the first person, well, Jake was the first person who was a superstar and as big a superstar as you could be, Jake Snake Roberts.
Oh, yeah.
For him to believe in me when I'm like, it's 1993, and him and I are working with the same company. I left. I tore my rotator cuff and got to sit down. Jake ended up having a big falling out with Cowboy Bill Watts, and Jake went off on his own thing. And then Jake called up when he heard I tore my rotator cuff and wanted to know how I was doing. And I met Jake in my nightclub 5 years earlier. And we got shit-faced together. You know, I mean, just all these things that are happening all around. But Dusty, he believed in me as a talent before anybody, but he didn't believe in me as a wrestler. I went back to it on 3 different times saying, don't you think I should, maybe I could be like a Michael P.S. Hayes manager, wrestler. But no, baby, you're going to be a fire-breathing dragon manager. You're going to be the greatest manager of all time. And I go, oh, God, if you think so, all right. And then at some point, I can't manage anymore. Mm-hmm. So I do this wrestling thing, and Dusty's like, oh, God, we're going to keep him on as a producer and let him still do color commentating. But I knew as a 4th string color commentator that friggin' the next guy who retires, who can talk, is going to bump me, and now the dream's going to be over. Mm-hmm. So that was all my momentum to wanting to be a wrestler. So I'm wrestling for 9 months. I tear my rotator cuff. Cowboy Bill Watts lets me go. And now I got Jake coming in. And then there's 11 months go by, and I end up back. Because now Eric Bischoff is on the booking committee. He's not the guy, but he's on the booking committee. He's my next door neighbor. He's one of my best friends. We met in a pull-apart fight in the AWA. I mean, we've got crazy history together. And he's going to give me my job back at its lowest level for its lowest pay, because he don't want anybody to think I'm giving special privilege to my buddy. Mm-hmm. This is a nepotism business, just like entertainment, acting, or music, or anything. Serious nepotism here. He ain't gonna let that. I'm gonna have to work 5 times harder to get that. So it's the day before I'm supposed to go in to see Dusty. I haven't talked to him about 6 months. And he's the booker. He's the main guy. I'm going to come in and talk about ideas. I go down to power plant. Like, if I wasn't wrestling, I'm down that power plant. Even when I was let go, Jody Hamilton, because I set the best example, first to come, last to leave, would work with anybody until they blew up, send someone else in. And I had that rep. So he loved having that around. And I walked into power plant. This is one of my favorite stories. And Dusty was there. I've never seen him at the power plant. And I gave him a big hug. He goes, aren't we talking tomorrow? I said, yeah. He said, do me a favor, jump in the ring. I want to see what this kid's got. Someone sent him to me or whatever. So I got in the ring. I worked like 20 minutes with him. He goes, that's enough, D. Pulled the kid over, he started talking to him. I figure he's gone, because I didn't see him around. But there was 4 rings in that place. Cameras, so from the office you could watch. And I thought he left. But he was in that back room watching. And the next day I got there, we talked, family, whatever. Yeah. We talked, and he said, so D, I know you've always seen yourself as a top performer in our business. He goes, but I gotta be honest with you, D. I've never seen it until yesterday. And he said, if you just keep doing what you're doing, you might just pull this shit off. So now go That's 2 awesome. More years, and we have that conversation. Yeah. What did you just say? Mm-hmm. And that made me believe. That made me go, oh, wow, he's right. If I don't believe it, how is anybody else going to believe it? If I don't see it, and I always use this in my speaking. I said, the people who say, I'll believe it when I see it, Those people never see shit.
Yeah.
They don't ever see shit. Yeah. But the people who say, I believe it because I see it. And that became everything. And I'd already done it, but not like I was about to.
Yeah.
I completely visualize it, see it happening, and this is going to happen. Like I used to say all the time, I'm going to be in the WWF. I'm going to show up there. I thought in the beginning a manager. Later I thought of a wrestler. And I got to work a WrestleMania. And I did. I should have been saying, I got to work the main event at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. That's what I should have been saying, because my goal setting system, SmackDown, specific, measurable, achievable, compatible, keep it going, do it, own it, write it down now. The very first thing, specific. Fuck working a WrestleMania. I want to work the main event.
Yeah.
And again, that was, I was just on Taker's podcast. And I went and did the show with him that he does. It's his show. A bunch of the boys and girls were there, but it's Taker. It was the main attraction. And got to do the show with him, LFG.
He seems like a great guy too, by the way.
I'll tell you, man. When I came in there, I never realized, because I had done a podcast with Austin probably a year before this, and it was for WWE. And the first question he asked me, he goes, when you came in, the invasion angle happened, which was a bullshit angle. It was just to tell the people they're going to get it, and then, these guys aren't worthy. And when I came in there, Steve said, did you realize how much heat you had? And heat in my world, that's a really weird place. It's like, you've got, like, everybody is so pissed off at you right now. It's like you have an inner heat that's like, it's like talking going around you, and you don't even know it at first. And then realize, and when he said, did you realize what kind of heat you had coming in there? I was like, no.
No idea.
Zero idea. I thought, hey,
that was good.
I'm the guy, I don't care about doing the job. In other words, losing. I just want it done right. I'm a team player. I'm gonna make this. This is gonna be the best thing that ever happened to me. But it was already preordained. So when I get on Taker's, when I go on the show with him with LFG, and let's back up. It was 22 years later, 23 years later. Okay, I'm going to be on his show.
Yeah.
About 8 or 10 years ago, we were at WrestleMania, and Take came up to me and said, hey, Dave. I said, hey, Take. And, we're talking by that time. There's no, heat, but it's not comfortable either, because, it really fucked me, in that spot.
Yeah.
And, but he's such a good guy. I just always felt like it wasn't him, but he was on the reciprocating end of it, for me, And he had said to me, he said, hey, I seen Resurrection last week. He goes, wow, that's what you did for those guys. That's special. And, that was the beginning. And then we started talking a little bit more here and there. The heat to me was gone, but it's still, because it hurts so bad.
Tucked in there, yeah.
And then we got together when I came into LFG, and I was just and I know him already. I'm going to do his podcast, and I love the guy. It's the same way when me and Flair had the heat. I wanted to fix it. I didn't have to really fix it with Take. It was fixing itself, right? So now we have a great show. I am actually watching one of the LFG shows where Punk comes in, and LFG is where they take level 1 athletes, and they're bringing them in, and there's 4 different coaches, and then there's a superstar that comes in and gives their guidance, and they're going to get a vote on who wins this challenge.
Got it.
And mine was finishes, the Diamond Cutter. Best
finisher of all time.
Yeah, the best.
The finisher.
And Randy took it to a different level with some of the stuff. And there's a girl at NXT, I don't know her name, who's doing it. She did a backflip off the top rope in the air and caught the girl perfect. So You know, the friggin' Sammy Guevara and Cody off the ladders. I mean, these moves are just unbelievable. But just to be a part of that, like one of the originators of that. So that's why I was on the show.
When that hand came up, I knew what was coming. I was like, yes.
Or it was going to, I was going to have the heel take it away and then take it right back.
Yep.
Which, boo, you know, because that's what I was looking for, those pops. And so, you know, we watched, you know, LFG. And so I knew, like, we're blood. Like, all that's gone. But we still got to do the show, you know? And he put me over so strong. Like, it kind of took me, it took me off my feet a little bit. I never expected him to put me over the way he did. Because Taker ain't saying shit. Like, he's not putting anybody over that he don't feel in his guts.
Yep.
He ain't saying something just to say it. So, and now we get to the WWE part. And I'm going, wherever he goes, I'm going to follow, you know? And he said, yo, I've taken a lot of heat over the years for people saying, I can't remember exactly how he said it, but it was something like, for people trying to say that I was trying to ruin your career.
And you're like, huh, interesting.
And the way it was just so natural, he goes, don't they realize I didn't book that? And I reach across, I just put my hand on his hand, I reach across there, I said, bro, we're good. We're totally good. I said, let me tell you what I learned from that. So let me take that, which could have been a negative conversation. Why? I love this guy. I respect the fuck out of him. He is, you know, he's everything that everybody thinks he is. He's friggin' the man. I mean, and it was his yard for a long time. And the bottom at that point, that was his highest time. Like when I came in. So the no sell shit, you know, that was his gimmick. You know? Yep. So I just felt he made me feel so good over these last few years, but especially going into it and giving me the respect for what I had done. I just didn't want him to have to deal with any of that shit. It's like, dude, we're good. We're good. Yeah. And let me tell you what came out of it. And what came out of it was it taught me the greatest lesson. The reason why I just don't own this building, we don't have any mortgage. I just don't own my cribs where I live. We don't have any mortgages. I've been very, very successful because of the foundation, not the money, the foundation that I built with wrestling. Yep. And people trusted me. And it took a lot of years for them to see, is DDP Yoga really real? Yeah. Is it real? I had a guy stand right here on one of our open houses, got to be 70, okay? And I'm up on stage doing an open house and I'm just talking. It's not a speech. I'm just talking. There's friggin' 60, 70 people out here that are coming in to see it because, well, what does this place offer? We've got healthy food, we've got healthy drinks, and I finally get up there. I'm walking around talking to everybody, and I get done, and I say, anybody wants pictures? You know, and I don't tell them this, but for me to go to a signing, it's $60 for a picture signed, or it's $60 for a picture with me. $100 combo. I don't charge anybody anything when they come in here, whether it's like our Transformation University, people who just left after 3 days here and getting to hang out and talk and just like tell me their stories, or people who come in with this, I didn't charge them nothing. It's like, come on in and let's just, because you'll never see me charge anybody outside of someone bringing me in, paying me a lot of money to be there, and then having to get their money back. But here, that's not the case. So I get done and everybody comes up, takes a picture, and this last guy comes up. And he comes up, he shakes my hand, he goes, I came here today to prove that you were full of shit. and I said, so what did you come up with? He goes, you are the real deal. Yep. And 100%. I would be an honor to get your picture. And I'm going to get your program. And
well, you've applied what you've learned to helping others, right? Like the things that you've struggled with that you had to overcome, you give people that same type of confidence that Dusty gave to you as well. Right. The areas where, if Dusty didn't have that conversation with you, would you have become
I don't know.
That's the thing, right? Do you know,
I really
right?
don't know. But
you always had it in you. It was always there.
But when he said, I never seen it till yesterday, like that was huge. That was huge. And I just told this story because Hulk just passed. Mm-hmm. And like I opened up with, and this is something I believe, a lot of people will say it's all about who you know or who knows you. So I don't believe that. I believe it's about who's willing to say they know you, who's willing to put their name on the line for you. Yep. And I was in Berlin, and this is, Hulk just came in the company. That's around 1994-ish. I can't remember when. I think it was mid-range somewhere. I can't remember the exact dating on that. But I was on that tour. I was what we call the curtain jerker. I'm the first one out of the curtain, and we're off to the races. So I'm working with Jim Duggan everywhere. And Jim Duggan, at one point, was one of the top, he's a Hall of Famer, but he was one of the very top guys in the world when he was facing USA against the Sheik. And then the two crazy fuckers got caught drinking and smoking pot on the Jersey Turnpike when they were in the hottest angle in the business. Oh, I felt so bad for both of them, knowing that they just got their shit canceled, you know? Yeah. But Jimmy Duggan, man. So me and Jim get done with our match. I come walking through the curtain, and Hulk grabs me, and he pulls me over. And he said, how are you doing it? I said, how am I doing what, Hulk? He goes, getting so much better. And then he friggin' embellishes. He says, well, it's got to be because you're not on TV that much. But when I do see you, you got a new move, you got to do something to get the people involved, but I don't really see you that often. So they have you on the road learning how to work. I said, no, this is my first show in 4 months. The only reason I'm on this show, because my last real name is Falkenberg, you know, before I changed it to Dallas Page. And I got a smoking hot wife that walks me to the ring. He goes, well, then how the hell are you doing it? I said, well, you know, I go down to power plant where I learned to wrestle, and I've been teaching guys. And what I've learned, and this applies to everything, that the more you teach someone, the more you learn. The more you learn, the better you get. And I appreciate that, though, Hulk. He goes, well, whatever you're doing, you need to keep doing it. It's not this year, it's not next year, but somewhere down the line, I believe you have the ability to draw huge money with me. And he walked away, and all I can think of, did Hulk Hogan just say he watched my matches? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, did he just say that?
Hulk just said to me?
Yeah. So I'm leaving, and I'm going up the stairs, because we now got a big bus. It takes us around. Of course, Hulk has his own limo. It takes him wherever. You know, but, you know, we got the bus, and I'm walking up towards it, and I hear, hey, Diamond. I always called Hulk Hulk. Always. Never called him Terry. Because he was a Hulk to me. He was the guy.
The guy.
And he would call me Diamond. He said, come on down here. So I put my bag on the stairs, walked back down, and Bischoff's in there. He said, listen, to Bischoff, he goes, everybody knows you guys are boys. You need to reach out and help him get more in the mix, because it's not this year or next year or the year after. He goes, but somewhere down the line, I think he's got the ability to draw some money with me. Wow. And I was like, wow, he said it to Bischoff.
Yeah.
And this is a story that I have only told on one other podcast ever. Bischoff, we come back, and one of the things I also told Hulk was, listen, Hulk, I'm at the end of it. Like, I'm done. These guys don't believe in me. And Kevin Nash is one of my closest friends. He's the world champ up there, as you know, and he will get me a tryout, and I will kill that tryout. And he said, well, let me think, just take a week or so on that. And so now I've already heard that, right? So now we're back home, and Bish comes over to my house. We live across the street from each other on the other side of a hill that Dusty's wife bought, Dusty's wife had sold them to us. And Atlanta's so big, she didn't realize it was right next door to each other.
That's crazy.
And so he comes over, he sits down, has a beer, and he said, well, I talked to the committee, told them Hulk said it, everything. Ain't nobody else see it.
Oh, man.
He said, but think about this. He goes, I'll give you your release. You go to New York, get over. And when you come back, you will always have a job with me. He said, you come back and I'll get you the money that you think you deserve. I said, you know, Hulk, I said, Eric, if you said that to me before I went to Germany, I'd have taken you up on that. But this company has never made one individual a top guy. No one. Sting came from Watts, so you can't say the guys made Sting, even though you kind of did. But not really. You haven't made one top star. I said, now that Dusty believes in me, and I said I'm gonna be a top guy, Jake, and now Hogan, you telling me 3 of the biggest names in the world ever, could be Mount Rushmore, that those guys think that I'm gonna be a top guy? I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna stay here and shove my fist so far up the booking committee's ass, when I move my fingers, their mouth moves. And that's seeing it.
Yep.
And at one point in early 97, one of them came up to me and, now Diamond, if you don't like this, no problem, but we were hoping that you might want to do this. Like I was like, and it was a very crazy time, but everything revolved around people believing in me, and it meant so much. It helped me make my fantasy, speaking things into reality, a reality.
Well, and you have that power over the people that you teach at DDPY.
Yes.
I mean, you see, obviously the top ones. You see Arthur. You see Butterbean. The one. Jake. You have so many people you've impacted, but they've lost belief in themselves, and they need somebody to come and say, "Hey, if you don't think you can be the world champion, then why are you doing this?" You should believe that, right? Believe in yourself. Believe that you can make a change. Right. That this isn't the end for you. This isn't the stopping part. And I think that's what you've been able to accomplish is taking your experiences and what you've been able to do and replicate that to other people that have different experiences but have their own problems, right? And that's the power that you have of community. And what I see, again, just walking into a leadership meeting and someone's like, oh my God, I've lost 100 pounds because DDP is amazing and the whole community he has around him is so supportive and I'm doing things I never thought I could do before. You're changing people's lives all the time, and that's an incredible, powerful thing.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a journey, man.
As you say, you speak your reality.
Yeah, and I wouldn't put my name on this shit if I didn't really believe in it.
For sure. I think
and like it as well,
The belief thing, I think, though, like you do the same, whether it's people who will message you on Twitter and you will, because you did it, you can tell a story. It's the coaching thing, and I was reminded of it last week. I on holiday with my daughter, she's 5, and she's been going to swimming lessons for like a year and a half, and a couple of times I went with her and I see she's like cautious in it. So we got there anyway, and it was just me and her, and the first couple of days she was super cautious until shallow end, then I got her a float and whatever else. And she's like, can we jump in? I'm like, yeah, we'll jump in. And she kept jumping in, and I kept like coming further back, and she was like, I'll not be able to make it. Like she thought she had to jump in and I would catch her. And she jumped in, kept jumping in, and I kept like pushing further back. And got to like the second last day, she jumped in and I kept just stepping further away. She's like, I need you, we're nearly there. And she swam the full length of the pool. And there was about 15 people who'd obviously watched this throughout the week, all stood up and clapped, and she was fucking so delighted. And I was like, you had the ability to do it, you just didn't believe in it. And it reminded me of why I coach. Like it's the showing people that they can do things that they never thought they could because you believe in what they do. Yeah.
One last thing to wrap up before we go. I just gotta, like, for me, the whole Sting, New World Order, DDP, that was to me the best, I think, time in WCW history, period.
I think the wrestling ever. You know?
Yeah, I really appreciate your time. This is awesome. We'll definitely make this more of a ritual for us on the podcast, having you on. Obviously, your time available. You're a busy guy, but really excited about the releases, and
Yes.
I think it's going to be amazing for folks to go and check it out. HackingYourHealth.com.
Yes.
And we will be releasing this now that we have all of the promo stuff to go and do it within the next couple of weeks. So really excited.
We've got the
Exactly,
green light
brother.
now.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Great to
Appreciate
be
it.
on board.
Yep.
Great to be on board, man. Hey, guys, it's me, DDP, Diamond Dallas Page. I just got done doing the podcast with Ben and Dave. And if you want the full director's cut, you want to hear stories about the Hulkster, you want to hear about the Stinger, you want to hear it about just wrestling in general, overcoming the odds and adversities of life, go to HackingYourHealth.com and sign up for our email list. Understand, monkeys? Bang!